Hey neighbor, today we're talking about the 5 most popular vegetables grown in the wintertime for the southern garden. I got my buddy Evan here. Evan is our horticulture intern for the wintertime, and we're gonna give you some insightful information today. Hey, we'll probably tell you some things that you didn't think was so. All right, Evan, what do you think the 5th most popular vegetable for the winter garden for the southern gardener is?
In my eyes, I would have to say the kale.
You would have to say the kale. Well, you're exactly right. Blue Ridge kale comes in at number 5 on the list here. Now, kale has been popular. The foodsy people, you know what I'm talking about? The foodsy people?
I do.
You know, the people that like the juice and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I do.
They love kale because it's a superfood.
Yes.
Loaded up with all kind of nutrients. But the fact of the matter, most of us just old people, we've never ate kale before and we don't know much about it. Do you like kale?
I'm not the biggest fan, I wouldn't say, but I could drink it juiced.
Really?
Yeah. I like it juiced.
Something I've never done before.
Yeah,
Maybe I should.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Now, we made kale soup out of it before. You know the Toscano soup you get at Olive Garden?
Yes, I
It
do.
has a kale, not this variety, but it has a kale in it.
Yeah.
So we've made kale soup before, and there's a couple of different ways we eat it, but it's not our favorite. And that's probably the reason it comes in at number 5. Number 4, most popular green is?
Collards.
Wrong. Cauliflower.
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower comes in at number 4 here, and
Okay.
it's specifically the twister cauliflower variety. As you well know, we've had to baby these cauliflowers more than we have anything else.
Yes, we have.
They've had more disease on them. Our leaves look a little nasty, and early on, we knew we had some problems there, but we tried to salvage these things out. We did good.
We did pretty good.
We had more problems with this than we did anything, would you say?
I would say this is the one we've had the most problems with.
Yeah. So this variety here gets its name because it twists up on those leaves here, and it protects that head. Now, the commercial farmer, if he's not growing a variety such as twister, they have to go in there and band these things up with a rubber band like that right there to protect the heads. Because if those heads get sunlight, they get scalded.
Okay.
So you got to really protect that. The great thing about the twister variety, it does that for you. So these leaves automatically twist up around there and protect that head here. And when the head gets ready, it opens up, makes it available to harvest.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah. Coming in at number 3 is?
Collards.
Collards, yep. And you probably have never eaten collards near as much as I have.
I do not.
Have you ever eaten collards?
I have.
Yeah, but not much.
Not much.
At a restaurant or something? You ever have
Yeah,
them
my
home?
grandma cooks them. I've been taking a few home and we've been eating on them, and I'd say they're kind of growing on me.
Yeah, well, collards is something that I grew up with, and if you got a little age on you, you know what collards are and you know how great they are. Now, to me, I would have thought collard deserves a better spot than number 3.
Possibly.
But that's where it lies at. And this right here, folks, is the top bunch variety that I think is the best variety we have here. Nice, strong plant, good vigor. And the good thing about the collards is they're easy to wash because they have this big slick leaf right here. So they're easy to prepare. Mama Hoss has got a recipe. She makes collards. Man, they are delicious. We love collards here. Off this little bitty plot right here, I've gathered them probably 2 to 3 times. We've had neighbors come in here and harvest them. You've carried some home.
I've carried some.
Man, we still got plenty. We can't eat enough of them. And we just got 2 15-foot rows there. Coming in at number 2.
Cabbage.
Cabbage, you're right. So cabbage come in at number 2 on our list, specifically the stonehead variety right here. Now, our cabbage are maturing out, ready to harvest. And how you tell when cabbage is ready to harvest is when that head wraps up pretty tight, and then you start seeing some of your outer leaves getting a little trashy looking. You see right there?
Kind of like this one here,
Yeah.
too.
Now that one's ready to harvest right there. When they get nice and firm, we take a knife, go down there and slice them off right there, and it's time for cabbage. The stonehead variety didn't make the biggest head I've ever seen, but it is a good, consistent, easy to grow variety for the home gardener. People love, you know, cut these up. You can make slaw out of them. Ferment sauerkraut. I'm going to do that.
Okay, yeah.
Now I can tell you a little secret. Have you ever done that?
I have not.
Okay, a little secret there. Now learn this by mistake. You got to measure your salt. So you can't do this thing right here like the professional guys do, because you'll mess up.
You got
to get your salt
on.
perfect. If you don't, it's going to be too salty. It's not going to be salty enough. You got to weigh and measure your salt. If you do that, it's easy to make. I'm going to do the same thing. We got plenty for you and I to make us a big pot sauerkraut out of. People love them to cook them with sausage, all kind of different ways. Cabbage coming in at number 2. And coming in at number 1, folks, to no surprise to anybody, is broccoli. I want you to look at this head of broccoli Evan grew right here. Look at there. Did pretty good, didn't he?
Did amazing.
Yeah. So we had somebody come through the garden yesterday and he asked me, what variety does it take to grow those big, healthy heads of broccoli. I said, buddy, it's not a variety thing, it's a fertility thing. Now, they may be a variety we have called Godzilla that makes a little bigger head, but for the most part, most broccoli will make big heads if the plant is fed right. Look at those nice green leaves that we have grown there. Now, we fertilized these things several times. We've paid real close attention to make sure we had good fertility, and look what we get there. Big, healthy clumps of broccoli.
Okay, Mr. Greg, I have a question about what you do with this plant after you're done harvesting that head.
Well, you know, you could harvest the leaves. We don't hear a lot of people talk about harvesting the leaves and eating these, but you could do it. I would make sure that I got some that was nice and clean, and I would take that big stem out of it. But you could stir fry these leaves right here just like you would any green. However, another use, and I'll show you one here that we've already harvested. Right here is one that we've already harvested the main head out of. Now, this plant right here is going to put what we call side shoots or florets on it. It's going to make them little bitty broccoli heads that sprout out right there. There's not going to be a lot of them, but there's going to be a few of those right there. So we could let that plant lay there, keep it nice and healthy, and we could harvest some more of those off of it. Now, if we need to flip this, and we got something else we need to use this area here, I'm not sure it's going to be worth the wait and time and effort to do that. But if you don't have no use for it, leave it there and you can harvest those florets off of it using a salad or whatnot, like things like that. Otherwise, I'd get them out of the way and I'd flip the bed and move on to something else.
All right.
Now, we didn't grow the biggest cabbage I've ever seen this year, but we grew good cabbage.
We did.
But we grew some of the biggest broccoli I've seen. I have grown it probably a little bit bigger, a heck of a crop. And we're going to be enjoying this the next few days. We got all kind of vegetables here to enjoy all winter long. The fact of the matter is, off of a small area such as 15 by 30, look how much you can produce right there.
More than we could even consume.
Yeah, or even give away.
Yeah, or give away.
That's the sad part. We can't even give it all away. With these worlds of things you can grow all during the wintertime. Now, us southern gardeners, we can plant these in the fall. We can harvest them all winter long. We can plant again now. We can harvest again in springtime. So we have the ability to grow all winter long. If it gets down to the low teens, yeah, some of you cabbage may bust, but it's going to have to get down there and stay there for a little while before it gets substantial damage, so we don't have a harvest there. Otherwise, we got plenty of vegetables to grow all winter long. And if you just got a small area such as a 15 by 30, I want you to look right here of what all you can do in such a small area with very little effort.